So the 30-second explanation of Web3 is that it's not a specific technology. It's a set of entire technologies. It's a new way of thinking about the web and a new way of building web applications that is entirely decentralized. Where previously applications always lived on one particular server or a small collection of servers, the new web is really about decentralization. Now, if all you wanted was the definition of Web3, you can stop the video right here. But if you want to dive in to understand why Web3 is going to make such a huge difference to the future of the web, stick around. Now, to start off, you need to understand where Web3 got its name. Obviously, there was a previous Web 2 and a previous web before that, and this really stands for the generations of web technology that we've really thought of. The very first version of the Web 1.0, was really web pages, where you would have a web page with a certain amount of content, you would click a link, and that would take you to a brand new website. It's very straightforward, very simple, and very intuitive. What happened with Web 2 is it was a new technology that allowed web pages to be much more dynamic. We used to have websites for maps that were very static, and Web 2 introduced dynamic elements. So you could scroll the map, you could change the interface as you were interacting with it. This made web applications much more like desktop applications, where you had scrolling, you had content coming in, you had dynamic changes as you were interacting with the web page, and it made it feel much more like a full-fledged application. And this generation of web apps was called Web 2.0. Web 3.0, as I said, was really about decentralization. And so previously we had websites that were mostly hosted on a single company or a single computer. Web 3 really decentralizes, and that means that the pieces of an application are not hosted on one company or one website or one computer, but are really a combination of different computers, different servers, and different services to allow your data to be more portable and more decentralized. Now, why would you want decentralization? If you think about the sites that you interact with today, whether it's social media, collection sites, e-commerce sites, banking sites, you go to these sites and they have your content. They have your social media posts, they have your listings, they have your finances. Those assets, those things that you've collected, those things that you've made or created, they live on those sites. If you one day take your social media and decide, hey, you know what, I don't really like Twitter or I don't really like Facebook and I want to take my content somewhere else, it's really difficult to go do that. The decentralized web, Web 3.0, allows you to separate out the basic elements of how you interact with applications and allows those things to live on the blockchain in a decentralized fashion. That means the content that you create, the assets that you have, even the finances, the cryptocurrency that you own, can be portable to other websites that you want to interact with, allowing you to really empower end users to take their content, to take their creations and use them with different types of applications, different types of services. Now, if you think about a single application, you can break up an application into multiple different components. And so the typical thing, if you land on a website, they want you to sign up, they want you to create an account, they want you to give you their email, give you their password, give you all sorts of stuff. In Web 3, it works completely different. In Web 3, you authenticate with your wallet address. This is a secret token key installed on your browser. And when you do that, the website immediately knows who you are without you having to give an email, without you having to give a password, without any of that mess. You can just start using the website because it has authenticated you with your Web 3 identity. This is a really powerful concept. Right now, a lot of Web 3 applications are really focused on cryptography or NFTs or NFT collecting, but the future of Web 3 is really being able to use pretty much any type of application in a Web 3 way. So there's a number of technologies that help make the decentralized Web 3 web app work. Those include authentication, tools like MetaMask. It includes things like Ethereum name service that allows you to have your avatar or your personal name or domain for who you are. There's other things that actually store and transfer money. If you're just getting into Web 3, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but If you understand that the notion of Web3 is trying to decentralize, then each of these little elements allows you to understand. Web3 is still in its early days, and so a lot of this stuff is incredibly confusing. It took me a couple weeks to get my head wrapped around how all this stuff works. And diving into some of the basics of getting your first NFT like I did will help you understand how these pieces fit together and how the future of the web may be very well distributed. I'm Raiz. Thanks so much for joining me. I talk about entrepreneurship, technology, design. I'll catch you in the next one.